All right, so Julian, I've been meaning to ask you a question about this. Give me a little introduction to the Iron Gate.
The Iron Gate is a technique that I use pretty much to keep negative people out of my life. So, like, you have to picture like an iron gate, and you have to picture negative people trying to get in, but they can't get past the gate. Now, this is what I tell people all the time. If you have negative people in your life, what you do is you institute the Iron Gate, and you basically tell them, look, these are the things that you're doing that I do not like. If you don't cease and desist with these things, then you can't be a part of my life. Now, from my own personal experience, this is what tends to happen. 50% of the people in your life, and this is people that's been in your life for a while that just may be negative and you've allowed them, to fester, are going to change. 50% of the people are going to be like, I didn't even know I was acting negative. I didn't know I was affecting you this way. Thank you for bringing this up. Thank you for telling me. And they're going to change. And you're going to move forward, amicably. Both of you. 25% of the people are going to say, fuck you. I'm not changing. You're the asshole. And they're going to leave. Good riddance. 25% of the people are going to flip-flop. And then you have to decide, do you want to deal with the flip-flops? Is it worth it? Or do you just want to tell these people, I'm sorry, but I don't allow any negativity. But you have to put up this Iron Gate, I believe. Too many people allow negative people to bring them down and then just stay in their lives without saying anything. Like, you have a choice, you have a right not to allow negativity in your life.
I think you're absolutely right. And actually, that's a great Bill of Rights that you stick by. I mean, we all have a variation of that. I have a variation of too. I don't want to use the Iron Gate because it's yours, but every now and then I might name drop it once in a while.
No, please do.
As a businessman and a person and a creative person, I do a lot of interesting things. You try to surround yourself with people who can be on the same wavelength that you are and who understand the groove you're in and the vision you're going for. If people start rocking the boat, they got to go. It doesn't. I mean, you lock the gate. I just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because you can't be surrounded with negativity. It's hard to be positive and do commercial things.
Now, the thing about people who generally have a positive look on life, they don't want to push anybody away. We don't want to push people out. We don't want to just get rid of people. So this is why I try to institute the Iron Gate and not directly push people out. Because, it's hard to push people away sometimes.
You're giving them a chance.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's hard to push people out a lot of times, But some people won't change. But you have to directly address the problem. If you do not address the problem, it is not going to change. People are very congruent. People are very much creatures of habit. People they run like algorithms in a computer. They're going to keep getting the same stimulus. They're going to keep getting the same psychological triggers from the environment, and they're going to keep doing the same shit unless they are leveraged to do something else. For me,
and they're done.
Yeah, for me, the people that flip flop, that that course correct, then they come back, I don't allow it.
Because I don't give them one chance.
No, I definitely give them a one chance, maybe two. I don't pretty much go to three, but because I can deal with negativity, but why? It's a drain on you emotionally. It's a drain on you mentally, and that affects every other dynamic of your life. And if I have a negative person in my life that's draining and taking away from me, that's going to affect the relationship that you and I have, and that's going to affect the relationship that I have with my parents or my other coworkers. So you can't allow these things to metastasize in your life. You have to get rid of them as soon as possible. A big thing that people don't understand, who you align yourself with is definitely gonna dictate how far you progress in life. What's that old saying? You're the representation of the 5 people that you hang out with.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't. There's probably
something to that.
I know what you're talking about. It'll come to me.
Yeah. If you're hanging around with people that smoke pot, drink all day, and have no real ambitions, guess what? You're not going to have any real ambitions.
Yeah, you're not going to.
Because the conversation is going to be about smoking pot and drinking, and
nothing's going to be so stagnated before you know it. Well, when I do the same thing again, as I mentioned. I have a different variation of it, but I was telling some of the people that I work with on some of the projects, Sean and Keith and a few other people, my son, whatever it might be, is that, look, I'm not here to really be friends with some of these people that we work with in certain projects.
You can't be.
Can't be. But they're professionally friendly with us
Absolutely.
and me, which is the way it should be. But we're not here to sacrifice things and damage the things that I have to do, because other people are just trying to leech off of what you do, and you do all the work, and they take all the credit, and you're sort of getting backstabbed, you might say. So I cut them out little by little. I don't bring them into some of the events that we're doing or whatever it might be. And eventually I don't call them, I don't talk, we don't Facebook, and we're kind of done. And then, because I don't want to tell them just more or less like, go F you yourself.
Yo, go fuck yourself.
Well, you could. Well, occasionally that does happen, don't trust
Yeah.
me. But I just kind of like slowly fade them out of the system.
Now,
It seems to work.
yeah. Now, one thing that I have that I know most people don't have, like I'm gifted with social dynamics. Like I'm very socially acute. So like I understand people. I can read people. I can tell how people operate. Their thumb screws. In a sense, a lot of people don't have that. But that is a trait that most people need to develop. You need to see, like some people manipulate, and if they manipulate on this side of the board, they're going to manipulate on this side of the board. And you definitely need to be able to read these people and weed them out. Some people may manipulate and won't even know that they're doing it.
That's true. That's true.
Because, maybe it's the way that maybe it's like a survival mechanism that they've used
It is a defensive
just to
mechanism.
make it, and like if you don't address it, like the big thing about the Iron Gate is addressing the problem. And like I think that's a big problem with a lot of people. Like everybody's trying to be too nice, everybody's trying to be too PC, and like you're just dragging yourself down.
Yeah, I mean, there's a time and a place for being nice and being PC. Don't get me wrong; it's important where it needs to be, but you can't be in any kind of a commercial business where you're living in a world that's like a fantasy world of loveliness and flowers and tulips and everything. It's like you have to be a good judge of character, which we both are. And of my 5 decades of being in dealing with the public through the shop at Queen City, I've come to be an amazing judge of characters. I can tell when people are full of shit within like 1 or 2 minutes we're talking. And when people sort of try to nudge themselves into your circle or your surroundings, you know what you have to do. But sometimes I don't necessarily just cut them right off like I'd like to. I just slowly phase them out of the system, so it doesn't look like I'm being the evil guy. And it works better. They don't take it as much. They don't take it as personal. And I don't want to like go, what? I start yelling. I think that's going to stress me out more, and I don't like to do it. But you can tell real fast when people are just trying to suck off you. They just want to absorb your essence of your knowledge and your talent. If I'm going to hang with Emil, I'm going to hang with Julian. I'm going to be able to do this and that. I don't allow it.
Now, I vet people. Like people think I'm a bit snobbish, but I'm very economical about my time and who I spend my time around. I want to spend my time around people who are intellectual. I have 2 criterias for having a conversation with myself. With people having conversations with me, if you will. You have to either bring some knowledge or you have to be funny. That's the 2 things. If you can do one of those 2 things, you don't have to do both. If you can do one of those 2 things, I will have a conversation with you.
That's how you get in the shield.
Yeah. I do not talk to complainers. Like,
complainers from the get-go.
Yeah, and there's a difference between complaining and actually talking things out, and and getting some understanding of your situation. Brainstorming with somebody else and trying to find a solution. I don't deal with complainers. People who just, I'm having a bad day and this guy cut me off and I'm not with this shit, or you won't believe what this bitch Betty did at work. I don't deal with that shit.
Yeah, I don't have time for it either.
That does not fit my criteria of I know about complaining.
Yeah, suck it up, man up, whatever you want to call it. You got to get your shit together.
Exactly, and that shit's not making me laugh. So I don't deal with complainers. I don't deal with people who are constantly negative. Like, you ever run into people who, like, every time you see them, they're like, fucking government sucks.
Yeah.
Fucking wife sucks. Fucking dog sucks. Fucking hot dog sucks. It's like, yo, is anything good in your life? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, human nature is to complain in this era we live in. There's because of technology, the internet, politics.
In the masses, not everybody though.
We complain after we know each other. We complain in a way where we that's part of how we talk sometimes.
It's cathartic, but it's a very
we're
small.
Not whining,
Yeah, it's a very small index of our conversations, though. Like, it's not the majority, and it's cathartic.
I think everybody has to find a way that they can take care of things that are similar to the Iron Gate, the way you do, and whatever I do. Some people can't do it. Some people adjust in a different way. Some people never adjust, and they have to go through failure. and they have a hard time working with people and doing professional things. What we say is how we operate. We're pretty atypical of we're different personalities. We're strong personalities. We're not weak in many ways, and if any. And it's not like we're acting like hard guys. The facts are the facts. I have no time for bullshit, and you have no time for bullshit either.
Like me, I want positivity, joy, and laughter in my life. Like the reason that we get along is because we laugh a lot. We're having fun. Like remember that time we were at Vizzy's with the fucking the beef, the giant beef on fucking wax,
crazy burgers,
and everybody's like, what the fuck are these guys like? We were the center of attention. We drew all of that in because we were having such a good time.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to spend the majority of your time, if not all of it, having that type of energy around you?
Well, it's not easy to do. I mean, there are personalities that can't adjust to that. Those are the ones that whine a lot or whatever it might be. So, find your groove is what I would say, is like find your groove, determine what works for you. Everybody does this, and sometimes they don't even realize they're doing it, what we're talking about, but some people don't. But adapt to it, learn by it. It'll probably make you a better person. Don't think you're going to be a mean person because you're doing this. You're actually sort of straightening out your path better. Your path is real important where you go in life.
Now, have you ever had to cut somebody out that you regretted, maybe like years later where you're like, maybe I shouldn't have, got rid of that guy, or do you think every decision was like spot on?
Not spot on. I mean, there's probably a few here and there over the decades where there might be slight percentages of maybe I could have handled that better, or maybe I didn't need to be that mean. But it wasn't like it was really close to being 50% or anything. So I would say for the majority, if you feel 75% or better that you've made the right decision, I think you're doing pretty good. We're assholes when we're young. That's what we do as boys. We that I feel sorry for, but those weren't business related things.
Yeah, and we weren't mature. Matter of fact, check out our episode on maturity.
Yeah.
That'll get all of that in line. But me personally, I've never had anybody that I've had to put the iron gate up, and anybody that I've had to eject from my life, some sort of exodus. Like I never felt bad, because it was always like a weight being lifted off my shoulders. Where it's like, I can move faster now because this person's not dragging me down.
You say you're at home at night, you're ready to go to bed, you've got a couple thoughts on your mind. Maybe it's about with a person you had dealt with, and the person upset you that day, really dragged you down, and you're all feeling bad. Once that person's gone, man, you're like, you could sprint faster now. Yeah. Now, it's like the weight's off your shoulders.
And like, you don't just do this with friends. Sometimes you got to do this with family, unfortunately. Like, we've all had situations where we had people, maybe you got a cousin that's borrowing money all the time, or, you got a aunt or a niece that always needs a place to stay. And you're like, yo, you got to get your life together. Like, I don't mind contributing to try to help you, and shouldering some of your burden because you're family. But at the same time,
how much can you really do?
Yeah, I'm not your caregiver, it gets to the point where you're like, am I enabling this person?
Well, yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's like everything you learn to be who you are, if you enable too much for what the person you're dealing with, a family member, whatever it might be.
Then they don't get a chance to learn.
Exactly, because you have to learn by trial and error. Now, if this person can't learn it after 5 or 6 times, then obviously the person's out of your circle of friends and people that you're dealing with. Unless it's a cousin you see on the holidays, you talk real briefly, but you never call them up. You don't go out with them. There's been situations with family members which could have gotten worse and everything, but they didn't get past that point of 20% or 25% towards maybe I was wrong. So that's just part of the way it works. And some people they learn from that, and some people they don't learn from it. I think it's a complicated topic. Not everybody can understand the stuff that we're talking about, but all you can do is, like I said a few minutes ago, just you have to learn what your own chi is. You have to determine what makes you feel good inside and what works for you. Yeah, without being an asshole.
Yeah, you want to have equilibrium in your own ecosystem.
Correct.
And you want equanimity. You want everything to be kosher. You want everything to be good. And I think
that's
the bottom line.
It's the bottom line. And these people, when they do finally realize it, sometimes when you have to drop someone, you'll get rid of somebody, if they're fairly intelligent, not all of them are, but a lot of them are, they are intelligent, they actually learn from that. They'll never admit it, but they do learn from it, unless the person's a total idiot. But anyway, it's the thing is just you got to protect yourself, be open-minded, and be a good judge of character, because everybody's out to get you in this world. I don't care what the hell they say.
And if you fucking around, the iron gate is closing, baby. Clink. Thanks, everybody, for weighing in with us.
There's a lot of things in the film that we all obviously enjoyed immensely, and those are the things that we've chosen to maybe not necessarily over-exemplify, but I thought we would touch upon a couple other things that were really quite solid in the film. Now, Tony Stark's death was the most legitimate death, without a doubt.
I think that the writers and the directors did a phenomenal job of subverting expectations, because everybody was like, Cap's gonna die. And me being a huge Captain America fan, I'm like, they better not kill Steve Rogers.
Oh, same here.
They better not kill Steve Rogers. And they didn't.
And they didn't. I'm happy about that.
We all thought that Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., being the mega powerhouse that he is as far as acting star power goes, that Marvel would never kill this character off, and they did. So both those paid off very well.